Okie dokie, Meredith. I'll start sharing the screen for you now. I did just get a message from somebody saying that they'll join in a couple minutes. So,
Perfect. All right, is everyone able to see the screen? Good. All right, awesome. All right, well, hello and welcome to our May monthly briefing. My name is Meredith. I'm an Intel analyst here at Safe Abroad as well as the client engagement lead. And today we have our fabulous team of analysts here to talk about the recent events that have been going on in the past month and their impact on international education, as well as some of the upcoming events that we are monitoring and the impacts that they will have as well. I will now turn it over to Allison to talk about today's agenda.
yeah, absolutely. My name is Allison Marr. I'm the operations lead here at Safe Abroad. My background is in international affairs and national security with a concentration on Eastern Europe. I'd like to take a moment to introduce the rest of our team, starting with Jeff, and then we'll go to Connor and Rachel.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff. I am an Intel analyst here and a master's student at the University of Denver. I am on the tactical intelligence team right now, and I am pleased to be staying on with Safe Abroad as a team lead for our next session.
Hello, I'm Connor Kelly. I am a National Security Intelligence Studies major at Mercyhurst University. I'm an analyst intern here as well. I am part of the Intel Innovation and the Crisis Simulation teams, and I will also be staying on as for the summer session as a leadership team intern.
Hello, my name is Rachel Wall. I'm an intelligence analyst intern here at Safe Abroad, where I work on the tactical intelligence team. I attend James Madison University, where I major in intelligence analysis with minor in humanitarian affairs.
Perfect. Well, with those introductions, I'll move on to the next item on the agenda. Like Meredith had said, we're going to start out some recent incidents, including car rammings in Jerusalem and some incidents across Europe and into Latin America. And then we'll transition into the month ahead, and hopefully we'll have some time at the end for any Q&A. So with that, we'll get started.
So one of our first major incidents this month that was occurring all month long was on April 6th. Various labor unions associated with railway workers engaged in a 24-hour strike in Portugal. The strike affected lines worked by Comboios de Portugal, Fertugas, Madaue, and Tacago, which were all canceled for 24 hours. These strikes spawned various copycat strikes and demonstrations that lasted through April 25th. Portugal has been experiencing a wave of railway strikes over the last few months, largely stemming from pay disputes, which remain unsolved, so these strikes are likely to continue in the coming months. Now, on April 7th, a vehicle ramming attack in Charles Corrore Park in Tel Aviv killed 1 and injured 7, of which 5 of those injured were hospitalized. The park was closed, and the suspect was shot after a brief encounter with Israeli police. Prime Minister Netanyahu responded by calling up border reserves and increasing security. Now, despite this increase in security, a similar car ramming attack occurred in Jerusalem market on April 24th, which injured 5, also resulting in the suspect's death. Now, the second attack occurred during the 2-day period in which Israel celebrates both its Day and its Independence Day, which is considered to be a hotbed for attacks. So the threat of attacks currently has largely passed, though the ongoing instability in the region could lead to further attacks. And then on April 18th in Duisberg, Germany, at least 4 people were stabbed in a fitness studio, with luckily no fatalities. The suspect managed to avoid police for almost a week before being arrested and identified. Suspect's motive currently remains unclear, but police believe the suspect is linked to a previous murder case. The investigation is ongoing, with the area around the studio still cordoned off to foot, and the area, traffic in the area is limited. Police believe that the threat has passed due to the suspect's apprehension, though residual disruptions could still exist in the area.
All right, I'll take it over from here. Back on April 20th, multiple Italian rail unions began daily 9-to-5 strikes across the country. Shortly after starting, union leadership decided to extend those strikes through May 1st. The massive breadth of these strikes severely impacted Trenitalia service across Italy. In conjunction with these strikes, we saw multiple instances of sympathetic protests in Rome, Milan, Florence, and other major Italian cities. All these actions, of course, were to demand better working conditions, higher wages, more government support for the rail industry. And while these actions should have just ended, it's possible we could see flare-ups again in the future. From April 21st to the 24th in London, the environmental activist group Extinction Rebellion held a massive 4-day march through the city. Now, there were other instances of Extinction Rebellion activities across the United Kingdom, but their main London rally was the epi-named Big One, as they called it. Estimates range from 30 to 100,000 people attending the festivities at different times. Extinction Rebellion's own estimates have a moderate 60,000 attending, so still an incredibly large rally by any metrics. While no arrests were reported, we did see, expectedly, multiple disruptions during the ongoing events. Streets around the houses of Parliament were closed, large increases in police activity, and just general disruptions in the vicinity. Now, currently in South Africa, since April 22nd, South African authorities have expanded their power shedding policies. The daily impact for this on most cities is roughly 10 hours a day offline. Rolling blackouts are common across all of South Africa right now, typically a daily occurrence even. This, of course, is exacerbated during heat waves overnight or during any ongoing maintenance operations. This crisis, unfortunately, has not improved even after a February presidential declaration of emergency designed to address the problem. And in fact, officials have warned that it could be getting worse in the near future, with some cities seeing more than 12 hours of blackouts per day.
In Buenos Aires, Argentina, on April 26th, we saw a 2-story house collapse and kill 2 people and injure at least 21, with 3 people being missing. The area surrounding it, the whole neighborhood of Floresta, was sectioned off for just emergency services as evacuations occurred. Unfortunately, building quality tends to be poor in Buenos Aires and all of Argentina. So when travelers are traveling to Argentina, we advise that they understand the building codes that they are living in.
Transitioning over into the month ahead, over the past several weeks, there has been an increase in seismic activity at the Nevado de Ruiz volcano near Bogota, Colombia. This volcano is widely regarded as one of the most dangerous on the planet, and the last eruption in 1985, commonly referred to as the Armero tragedy, killed more than 25,000 people. And so experts in the region anticipate a new eruption in the coming days and weeks. And the Colombian government has already issued evacuation orders for the region surrounding the volcano, although many are expected to remain despite the orders. So travelers in Colombia should carefully monitor news surrounding the eruption and follow all evacuation protocols. In the event of an eruption, travelers should expect significant flight delays and cancellations and other traffic disruptions throughout the country due to ash plumes and just the large flow of people that will be coming out of Bogota. In the United Kingdom, ongoing cost of livings and wage disputes have resulted in large demonstrations and strikes throughout the United Kingdom in the past couple of months, but most recently on May 1st. These demonstrations are expected to continue throughout the month of May. British officials expect nearly half of all National Health Service staff to be on strike. And they also expect large demonstrations in urban centers throughout the United Kingdom. This is not limited to the healthcare industry. We are expecting strikes in the transportation sector, especially rail. And so those are expected to continue throughout the summer. So travelers should expect significant disturbances to public services and be carefully monitoring those websites online and social media for news on when services are expected to be canceled.
Ongoing French protests over pension reform have continued even since February when the pension reform passed, and they are expected to continue throughout May and even through June. In June, we have already seen that the 6th and the 8th are expected to be days of mass action, including demonstrations and probably a lot of strikes. The strikes are usually including transportation, and that usually does include airfare as well. So the people traveling over even or through France should be aware. And on May 1st, during the May Day violent demonstrations, 291 people were arrested and over 100 police were injured in the protests. Protests in France have become more and more violent, and travelers should stay away from all protests and demonstrations, especially those related to pension reform, and they should keep updated on what strikes are occurring near them. The Turkish general election will occur on May 14th, and it should be a very controversial one. The current president, President Erdogan, is expected to rally and to not take the results lightly if he does not win. So travelers should expect massive protests and rallies going up to May 14th and also after May 14th, especially if the President Erdogan does not win. There is likely to be a lot of emphasis on the Kurdish people as well, which are a minority in that country, and we might see a lot of violence occurring towards them.
But yeah, that's all we have today. We'd love to open the floor to any questions that anybody here has. And see if there's any questions on this event or any other events going on that are a worry to you and your travelers.
Hello. Hi, I'm Bree. I'm from the University of South Alabama. I joined the meeting a little bit late, so you might have missed. Yeah, I might have just missed this. But did you happen to mention anything going on in Kenya right now?
So we did not have anything in this report about Kenya. However, I do know that some of our analysts here are on that technical intelligence team, and they have been monitoring what's going on in Kenya. So I will turn the floor over to them to talk briefly about anything that they've noticed in Kenya lately.
I can start us off a little bit on that one. So I believe it was just yesterday, the opposition party leadership in Kenya has called for massive nationwide demonstrations in opposition to the government, both for political reasons and in opposition to the country's worsening cost of living crisis. Right.
You might have cut out.
I can take it from here then. So there's a lot of protests that are going on there right now, especially in Nairobi, which is the capital of Kenya. And they're mostly political in nature. Oh, Jeff, I see you're back if you want to continue.
Yep, that had to happen right then. Yes, it's a lot of politics and it's a lot of economic problems right now in Kenya, and those two things are kind of just coming together at a head, and it's not looking pretty right now.
And just to add
the government hasn't.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I was just
the
going
government hasn't.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
The government hasn't been especially happy about it either. So there have been a lot of clashes between protesters and the police and even some militia. They are pretty violent, as we've seen in the past couple of days. So I would advise people to stay away from them if they occur near that.
And just to add on that too, Bree, if you have any specific questions about any concerns there too, I would be happy to follow up with you after this meeting, and we can discuss more in depth to your concerns as well.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions today? All right. Well, as always, if you have any questions about anything you heard today or any concerns about anything else, please feel free to reach out to us at saferabroad@saferabroad.org. Our team is always here to help. And I just wanted to say thank you for attending our May monthly briefing. We host these on the first Wednesday of every month, so you can have a look out on social media, email blasts for that information. And we hope to see you guys there next month. Thank you.